Hyannis Air Service, Incorporated, operating as Cape Air, is an airline headquartered at Barnstable Municipal Airport in Barnstable, Massachusetts, United States. It operates scheduled passenger services in the Northeast, the Caribbean, Midwest, Eastern Montana and Micronesia. Flights in Micronesia are operated as United Express flights through a code-share partnership with United Airlines. Flights between Hyannis and Nantucket, Massachusetts, are operated under the Nantucket Airlines brand, also operated by Hyannis Air Service, Incorporated. As of November 2013, Cape Air received $32,241,274 in annual federal subsidies for essential air services that they provided to rural airports in the U.S. History. The airline was co-founded in 1988 by company pilots Craig Stewart and Dan Wolfe, and investor Grant Wilson. Initially, Cape Air flew between Provincetown and Boston in Massachusetts, but throughout the early 1990s new routes were added to destinations across southeastern New England. In 1994, Cape Air and Nantucket Airlines merged and now offer hourly flights between Nantucket and Hyannis services in Florida and the Caribbean were added in the late 1990s. 2004 marked the launch year of FAA Part 121 certification and a new hub of operations in Guam. This included a new fleet type consisting of 3 ATR-42 turboprop aircraft. The startup team, led by Pacific Administrator and Captain Russell Price, launched scheduled service in July 2004 with the 3 ATR aircraft and 2 of the C-402. Service was as a continental connection carrier, flying from Guam to the Northern Mariana Islands of Saipan and Rota. Due to the international dateline and the midnight connecting service to from Japan, it was sometimes referred to as America's first flight, that is the first departure daily of any airline flight in the USA. In late 2007, the airline began a new round of expansion in the Northeast and Midwest. On November 1, 2007, the airline began service between Boston and Rutland, Vermont, with 3 daily round trips. The route is operated under contract with the U.S. Government Essential Air Service Program. With the help of an Interstate Minimum Revenue Guarantee, Cape Air expanded into Indiana on November 13, 2007, offering flights from Indianapolis to Evansville and South Bend. Passenger revenue did not grow quickly enough to make the operation economically sustainable once the revenue guarantee ended, so the last Cape Air flight in Indiana was on August 31, 2008. The airline expanded into upstate New York in early 2008, following the sudden demise of Delta connection carrier Big Sky Airlines. Cape Air began flying 3 daily round trips on Essential Air Service routes from Boston to the Adirondack cities of Plattsburgh and Saranac Lake on February 12, 2008. The airline continued its expansion into New York when they started to fly the EAS routes out of Albany to Watertown, Ogdensburg, and Massena, and Rutland Airport. Cape Air commenced service from Rockland, Maine, and Lebanon, New Hampshire, to Boston on November 1, 2008. Cape Air is currently the only airline offering commercial flights out of Lebanon. Cape Air also flies to from Westchester County Airport to from Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard, initially for seasonal summer flights, which has since become year-round. The company recently purchased 4 additional Cessna 402s to assist with the recent growth. Cape Air was also looking to offer service on the West Coast. Cape Air submitted bids to offer service between Newport and Portland in the state of Oregon. The airline was hoping to be selected by the Newport City Council to receive a financial grant to jumpstart the service. Ultimately they lost out to Seaport Airlines, which was able to get the service going sooner than the 2010 date that Cape Air had submitted. The airline also operated in the Mid-Atlantic region. Cape Air provided scheduled flights from both the Hagerstown Regional Airport and the Lancaster Airport to the Baltimore-Washington International Airport. Service out of BWI ended in October 2012. In September 2010, the U.S. Department of Transportation selected Cape Air to fly a federally subsidized route connecting Augusta, Maine, and Boston. For serving the route, Cape Air receives an annual subsidy of $1.4 million from the Federal Essential Air Service Program, commonly known as EAS. Service to from Augusta began in December 2010. Cape Air operates EAS service from Lambert St. Louis International Airport to Cape Girardeau, Missouri, Kirksville, Missouri, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, Marion, Illinois, Quincy, Illinois, and Owensboro, KY. Cape Air has held discussions with airport officials to offer service between Pittsburgh International Airport and Arnold Palmer Regional Airport in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and Erie International Airport in Erie, Pennsylvania. In May 2013, Cape Air named Linda Markham as the new president and chief administrative officer. In September 2013, the DOT selected Cape Air to provide EAS service between Billings and 5 communities in eastern Montana, including Sydney, Glendive, Glasgow, Avra and Wolf Point. Service in Montana started on December 10, 2013. Cape Air is the largest independent regional airline in the United States and carried almost 735,000 passengers in 2012, with new routes driving steady increases over time. Cape Air offers up to 550 daily flights system-wide. Nantucket Airlines Nantucket Airlines, Cape Air's sister airline, operates Cape Air service under the Nantucket Airlines name. Flights depart hourly, and operate between Nantucket and Hyannis. Cape Air also uses Nantucket Airlines planes to transfer passengers between Boston's Logan Intel Airport and Nantucket Memorial Airport. Destinations Code shares United Airlines, all Cape Air flights in Micronesia are operated as United Express in a code-share agreement with United Airlines. This service was formerly operated as Continental Connection for Continental Airlines, but when United received a single operating certificate from the FAA on November 30, 2011, it was renamed United Express. Cape Air's Caribbean flights also have a code share with United, but are not operated as United Express. JetBlue, since February 2007, Cape Air and JetBlue Airways have had an interline agreement. The agreement allows Cape Air to carry JetBlue Airways passengers from Boston's Logan Airport and San Juan to Cape Air's destinations throughout the Northeast, Florida and the Caribbean. The agreement allows customers on both airlines to purchase seats on both airlines under one reservation. Customers also get their baggage transferred, and Cape Air and JetBlue Airways are located in the same terminal in Boston and San Juan, which allows for an easy connection. American Airlines, Cape Air and American Airlines announced a code-share agreement for the Caribbean in February 2013. The cities served by the AA code-share are Anguilla, Nevis, Tortola, Feeks and Mayagüez. In the Midwest, Cape Air and American have had a code-share agreement since 2010, which allows passengers from Quincy and Marion, Illinois, Cape Girardeau, Kirksville, and Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri to connect in St. Louis, Missouri. Fleet. As of May 2015, Cape Air's fleet consists of the following aircraft. In November 2010, Cape Air announced that it was considering new aircraft types to replace the Cessna 402. On April 18, 2011, Tecnam, an Italian company, announced it will be producing the Tecnam P2012 Traveler. The aircraft will be ready for delivery in 2016. Accidents and incidents. On January 30, 2001, a Cape Air pilot and his only passenger were injured when a Cessna 402C crashed just short of the Martha's Vineyard Airport on a flight from T.F. Green Airport in Warwick, Rhode Island. On June 12, 2007, Cape Air CEO Daniel Wolf announced the grounding of all of Cape Air's 49 Cessna 402C aircraft nationwide, after 3 in-flight engine failures. The problem was blamed on premature wear on the crankshaft counterweight. All 402 services were cancelled for 2 days while the counterweights were inspected and replaced as necessary. Normal service resumed about 4 days after the initial fleet grounding. The FAA stated that they were monitoring repairs, but that all action taken by Cape Air was voluntary and not ordered by the FAA. They elected to do the right thing for safety. On September 26, 2008, A repositioning flight with no passengers on board departed Martha unregistered trademark S Vineyard at 8:05 p.m. en route to Boston. Shortly after takeoff from runway 33, the plane went down about 2.5 miles from the airport, killing the pilot, who was the sole occupant. Prior to this date, Cape Air had maintained a fatality-free record over its 18-year history. On January 22, 2009, a Cape Air 402C with 6 passengers aboard during a night flight from Key West, Florida to Fort Myers, Florida lost power in both engines as a result of fuel starvation due to faulty maintenance of the fuel selector. The aircraft made a successful emergency landing at Naples Municipal Airport. References. External links. Cape Air Jobs.